Marc, I don't think anybody is shocked that Giannis has decided to stay in Milwaukee, but maybe as it got closer to the deadline, it became more surprising. What was your initial reaction?
You know, I never thought he was going to leave. I never got any inclination that he was attracted to going somewhere else. He's a guy that basically is from another country and fell in love with Milwaukee since he's been there. It doesn't seem like he's one that's attracted to the bright lights, whether it's New York or Toronto or LA or, the Bay Area. He just doesn't seem like that kind of guy. So, and then that's a lot of money. And here's the thing. It's funny because I kind of talked to Paul George about this. You take the money and then figure the rest out later.
Mm-hmm.
He's a powerful figure where even if, like, say, a Kawhi had resigned, take the money, and then if you're not happy, then ask for a trade after a year or two. That's what Paul George did, and it worked out for him. I've never understood guys turning down major money like that, and so I thought that was a bright decision. Although I think he's attracted to staying, it's a bright decision to take the money.
So here's the question then, because the money was not going to change, and obviously he was able to get much more in Milwaukee. Why did it take so long? Why did it go down to the wire and make all the people in Milwaukee sweat this out?
For dramatic effect, I think.
Why not?
Make sure everybody loves you.
Yeah.
That's a really good question, but I guess the thing is, it's just also so much oddity right now, so much unknown about the world that perhaps the pandemic has made people appreciate where they are,
mm-hmm.
and not really want change, to start from scratch. You notice Anthony Davis didn't go. LeBron James surprisingly signs an extension. I wouldn't be surprised if Stephen Curry is next, and he wants to be next. So I think maybe that played a role in it as well, as people are just wanting some normalcy, mm-hmm. and don't want a big change. But again, I just never thought, especially a young guy who's more or less married and has a young child, and even in the bubble when I was there saw Giannis, he was always with his brothers and nobody else. I think he likes the small atmosphere, the small media market, and was fine where he was.
Mm-hmm. As a market that made him as well. I think that goes a long way with not everybody, but with some of these guys. So a lot of teams had their hopes up, whether the fan base or management, and we saw all the things online in recent days with everybody putting Giannis in their team's uniform. But I would suggest that Toronto was one of those that had legitimate reason to be hopeful. So in the immediate aftermath of this, what does that do to Toronto's long-term plans, given the money that they have made available for next year and et cetera going forward?
I don't think Toronto wants to hear this now, but I truly believe that if he had went anywhere, it was going to be Toronto. I live in the Bay Area, and I never felt like he was coming to Golden State, or only place I thought about was Toronto, because of it being about as international city as you could find in the NBA. I think Giannis is also starting to really fall in love with his Nigerian roots and want to learn more. And, being alongside a Masai Ujiri, I think would have been certainly attractive, as well as a team that has several international players. So I really thought that if he was going to do it, mm-hmm. he was going to T-Dot, man. He was going to the 416. You don't want to hear that now. I mean, like, being number two don't mean nothing, right? Like,
well,
I really thought if he was going to go anywhere, it was Toronto.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. People do feel like, and how far it's come, where the free agents would never even think about it. So when you say that in jest, I think Toronto people do appreciate it. At least they're on the NBA map now. So quick word on this roster as it stands in Toronto. 2 years and 4 key players removed from a championship, but the core of the group going forward, it's still in place and still getting better in some instances. So where do you see the Raptors this year?
Well, quick thing going back real quick. if the Bucks don't do well over the next 2 years,
could end up there, Toronto.
Just keep that in the back of your hat, I like the Raptors. I really felt like they should have been in the finals in the bubble. Kind of still shocked that they didn't return, especially knowing the fight of that team. You need Pascal to be Pascal. And so the key guys are back. This team is certainly talented. Obviously, you lost 2 bigs. That meant a lot to this franchise. But, right now I kind of feel like Brooklyn's that team. KD is scary, and I've seen him up close a lot of times. But I still believe in the fight in the Raptors. I still believe that their championship pedigree helps, and some of the continuity star players help. And I expect them to be a factor, and it's not out of the realm of possibilities that they could be. I could be back in Toronto in a healthier world in August for the finals. They are certainly a contender. Are they number 1 on the contender list in the East? No, but they're on the list. They are certainly capable of getting there.
All right, Marc, we're going to save that clip of a couple of years from now. You'll be the first one to get credit for it if we see something change in the honest landscape in Milwaukee and he ends up in Toronto.
I've seen crazier things, man.
Yep.
I've seen crazier things, but
absolutely,
it ain't a lifetime contract. It's a contract.
There you go. Busy day for you. We appreciate you taking the time for us. Thanks, Marc.
Thank you.